Hi all, and thanks for being with me. Finally, the Dunkley by-election in Victoria is over with. A resounding victory has been delivered to both sides of the political spectrum, both declaring that it was a victory to be celebrated. And why not? When you wind up with a swing towards you of 3.9%, which is the average, I guess, for by-elections held against the government. So that we should not celebrate, perhaps, but there again, perhaps we should. Because for the coalition, for the Liberal parties and the Nationals, this was an amazing and celebratory victory.
Fellow Liberals, today the people of Dunkley have sent Anthony Albanese a really strong message. And it's not happy birthday.
Didn't really actually lose any percentage as a result of that. It was evident that because One Nations and Clive Palmer's party were not standing in this election, that a lot of those people that would have voted for them switched obviously to the Liberal Party because those people are dickheads. So here we have it. We have an election. It was won by the Labor Party. The Liberal Party think that they won it even though they didn't win it. Labor Party think that they won it because they were simply had a better candidate. And also, they think they won it because the tax cuts did resonate.
First of all, I think there has to be an acceptance by the Liberal Party that they actually lost the seat. A loss is a loss is a loss, and no amount of spin or excuses is going to alter that fact. And I think if the Liberal Party can't win a seat like this, at a time like this, at a by-election, when cost of living is high, interest rates are high, inflation is high, then it doesn't augur well. But then to try and turn it around as some kind of victory shows a level of denial and delusion which does not serve them well.
And the Labor Party need to actually perhaps go back to the starting blocks and start to think a little bit differently about how they're going to run this race. Because when it comes to the next election, there are a few things that we need to be wary of. Number one is, I guess, that the cost of living issues will still be present and that there will be a fight on those grounds, that immigration will still be an issue, and regardless of the lies of the crap that Susan Lee tends to put out there, her racist comments, absolutely atrocious, perhaps she may learn, oh no, she won't learn the lesson, so I don't even want to bother saying that, but things may change in terms of immigration. We might have 20, 30,000 boats arriving on our foreshores any day now between now and the next election. And of course, that will give the Liberal Party an opportunity to be anti-immigration, anti-foreigners, anti-asylum seekers, anti-anybody who isn't white and Christian. So let's wait and see what particularly happens in that regard. Of course, the other thing that we need to be mindful of is that there just may be some relief around cost of livings in terms of tax rate, of the rate that the RBA will be imposing. So they may cut the rate so that those people that have got high mortgages at the moment may receive some relief. And that might make a difference as well to the Labor Party. Of course, we do have to remember that the Labor Party do not control that the RBA stuff is independent of any government for that matter. But however, there are strings, I guess, that can be attached to that in terms of cost of living expenses, inflation and other things over which the government does have some control. So if inflation also decreases over that time, then it becomes more important for the Liberal Party to focus on things like immigration and cost of living. But cost of living will become less effective if inflation rate and mortgage rates decrease. So what do we do then? Well, I guess then we develop the strategy that the Liberal Party seem to be focusing on, which is hate and division. Like, this appears to be the only strategy that they have that will best impact the community, so they think. I think the reality here is that it doesn't, that they need to find a different way or a different mode of operation for that matter, so different that it will change the way people think about politics. Now, one of the ways they could do that is they could start delivering some policies. So rather than the crash and burn approach, which they tend to take, perhaps they could start to think about expressing their policies in ways, well, firstly, perhaps they could tell us what their policies are. And perhaps if those policies are enticing enough, people will consider them as an alternative. But at the moment, it doesn't seem likely, because the ideas that they've had and the acquiescing to the negative campaigning which they have done has not worked out. It has been an absolute and miserable failure. And so they need to change their way they think about how to delivering ideas to the Australian populace. Now, the other thing that they might need to think about is getting rid of Dutton. I doubt whether they will, because simply there is nobody else sitting in the wings who could take his position. And certainly Susan Lee would not be an option at all. In fact, my mail tells me that perhaps Susan Lee herself is on the way out, because she's so distasteful and nothing that she says actually resonates with the community, the people that are expected to vote for them. So a whole raft of changes needs to take place on both sides of politics, I agree. So let's see what happens. Let's see how this develops, and I wonder whether or not at the end of the day it's going to be enough for the Liberal Party to win power at the next elections. I doubt it, but I think there's a long way to go between now and next year when the next elections are to be held, and there's a lot of issues that could take shape that will change the way people think about voting next time. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe to my channel and to ring the bell for further notifications. In the meantime, take care, look after yourselves.